Good morning, beautiful gardening people. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. And if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. And I hope you're doing well also. So we're gonna do a spot of a garden tour this morning. I almost forgot it was actually Monday. And I usually do my tours on Sunday. Even if I would never post these, I will still record them because it's a fantastic way to see what has really progressed in the garden and how much work I've done from last week. So this is zone 9B. I'm in Central Florida. You should be starting to see some videos from Bobby, and Bobby is in 5B. And we created this channel so that we could share our gardening experiences with each other, and in turn, we're sharing them with you. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So first, let's start with Hydrangea Hideaway, which is looking pretty spiffy right now. These are the hydrangeas. They're looking pretty good. And I will say that I was expecting my hydrangeas to be a little bit more poofy, but I'm okay with the way that they are. This is Hydrangea 1, Hydrangea 2, and Hydrangea 3. And my new workbench. And then we have what I would like to say is my massive sweet potatoes, but they're in a very small container, but they have grown out because we have sweet potatoes here, sweet potatoes over there, and sweet potatoes over there. We got some aloe that I've been saying I need to work on for quite a while now and haven't got to. And here we have my gladioluses and bachelor buttons. The gladioluses are opening up. There's also some black-eyed Susans down here at the bottom, and I think it's gonna start blooming. The bachelor buttons are kind of a little burnt up. Now, even though my tree is looking haggard, I think it's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. This is my lemon tree. Then we have my dumb cane plant, which I call my generational plant. This is my rose plant that tried to die. It's actually starting to come back. It looks terrible, but we'll see what happens. Then on to the main part of the garden. Good morning, Buddha. We have a moringa plant here and a moringa plant here. Now also inside of this moringa plant, I discovered there's some Malabar spinach growing in here, and I'm going to let it. So we have some sweet alyssum, tons of purslane, and some bachelor buttons. And looks like we have some weeds in here also. We have our red roses that are getting ready to put on quite a few blooms. And down at the bottom, we have our buttercups. We also have a salvia. And on the other side, we have our sunflowers, and they are getting big. Yay! There's also some baby zinnias down here at the bottom that are trying to grow up. We have our colas, which needs to be repotted. Mr. Bubbles, that's not rolling right now because the sun hasn't come up on it. Now this is my lantana, and it is in bloom also. I call this my Fruit Loop plant. And underneath there, we have some red vein sorrel growing. I have two more gladioluses that I planted this year, so I don't expect them to bloom, but they're doing good. And more purslane. We got to do something about this pot. And then here in the stackables, we have a dahlia, more colas, and more coleus. And hiding away, we have one little lone aloe. So here in my seating area, we have our cactus, which is super duper happy. We have our miniature roses that are not blooming at this moment, but I'm sure they will. We got this humongous geranium, which is a few plants and needs to be split. Another colas. You all see a theme? We have tons of coluses. And then we also have aloes down here, along with the weeds. And if we look back here, we see the morning glories are starting to vine up on this piece of shelving that I have. And we got morning glories everywhere. Look, here's some right here. And there's some, and there's some. Now we get to pepper roll. We have lots of green peppers in here right now, but they're actually all colored peppers. But none has started to turn yet, and it is full of peppers. And in front of the bell peppers, we have more coleuses. And their blooms are stunning. And we're gonna do the side pieces next. We have aloes with morning glories. More aloes, aloe, aloe and morning glory, and aloe. And over here in my little chair garden as well, we have coleus, dahlia, 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 and a miracle. Then here in my cement mixing trays, we have a ginger, strawberry, and strawberry. And the gingers are popping up finally. Actually, they're coming up pretty fast this year. We have strawberry runners everywhere and lots of strawberries. This is a new patch, and you'll see on the garden diaries what's going on with this. And here in my other chair garden, we have coleuses down here. We have lots of calendulas and tons of weeds. We also have more okra plants that need to be planted somewhere. I don't know where. And we have a Phyllis Dillard hiding in there. That's my air plant. And then these guys that I rescued some weeds off the ground. I don't know what they are. Well, I do, but I need to put in here exactly what these are again. Then here we have our Malabar spinach. So on to the Eden trellis. Down at the bottom we have some okra, and it's doing really well. We have a nasturtium here, a nasturtium here. Here we have some bunching onions, and they are starting to come up. And there's supposed to be thyme in here. I don't know what's thyme and what's not, so I just have to let things grow until I can identify it if it indeed comes up. I do know that's Malabar spinach, which I haven't grown for 2 years, but it keeps popping up all around the garden. We have milkweed, some new transplants, and some petunias. And then we have my mustard greens, which are very hard to see because they are heavily guarded right now. On the outside of the trellis, we have Mr. Loofah, who is going up. We have more okra, and more okra, and a salvia. And onto the melon patch. On this side we have our watermelons, and surprisingly these watermelons in the middle haven't died all the way back. We've been having some issues, and so I've been having to spray those, but they're looking a-okay right now. So I have 3 different types. I have the sugar babies, the kajaris, and the raw mandu or mandu ras, something like that. Those are the ones that are having the problems. Then here we have the Wonder Twins and their runt little brother. The runt is starting to come out this way, so y'all gonna have vines everywhere. I'm kind of excited about that, but not. And down below we have a basil plant. Also in this area we have our white potatoes. They got mounded up this weekend, so they can just grow very happily now, and they have. Now onto the dream trellis. We have a salvia. Oh, look at those blooms. Absolutely beautiful. And inside of our trunk garden, we have lots of basil. This is like the basil bodega. And then we have an asparagus bean, which you can see is growing beans. And we have begun harvesting asparagus beans. And the cucumbers are looking very lovely for this time of year. Let's see how long they hold out. And they are going on top of the trellis. And I have to say, I feel like this is the first time my cucumbers have gone that far up the trellis. And we have a little flower out here. This is the eggplant. Also on the outside of the trellis, we have our sunflowers here, a little sunflower patch that volunteered from last year. We have some lemon balm and some sage that is getting hit with leaf miners. I didn't even know leaf miners like sage. Those little you know what's. Then we have our ladder garden that's within this trellis as well. We have our basil. I'm attempting to grow some parsley and some cilantro in here, but I'm not having much luck. Then we have some chives and some more basil. I think I need to move these guys. We have our one begonia and some celery. I decided to put the celery in these shoes. Y'all, that's very beautiful. My sister cousin gave me this idea. Yay! Then we also have more herbs. We have our dill, oregano, rosemary, and mint. Now look at this canopy. All beans. I'm gonna have to go on the hunt because the beans are coming. And on the outside of this trellis, you can see all the beans. Those are old homesteads and they are very prolific. We still have to pick beans, but the beans haven't developed just yet. We have a comfrey plant, a big bushy stevia plant that I need to chop back, and another comfrey plant, and a Mr. Buddha, Bud, Wiser, and Prince Charming. And I fixed this fountain, so yay, it should be going later on when the sun comes out. Underneath in the fountain garden, we have a various number of things. We have some New Zealand spinach that volunteered, lots of aloes, and lots of weeds. The end. No, y'all don't go anywhere just yet. I'm just kidding. I still want to give you an overview of the garden. Y'all, it is looking quite lovely. And I have to say, last week, I worked like a dog out here. And I'm glad I did because, y'all, I think we are in the thicket of the summer. It has gotten super hot overnight. It was hot already, but now it is like hell right now. And that's usually how it is in Florida. Nothing out of the ordinary. My plants, they're not on the struggle bus just yet, but I know it's a coming. So I'm just trying to enjoy all the beauty that's in the garden, all the things that have not succumbed to powdery mildew, all the things that don't have that terrible disease of the aphids, and just enjoy the garden. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope you all are enjoying too. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who have been watching, all the new subscribers who have come on, and all the people who have been giving me some super duper fantastic, wonderful advice. Because I'm listening to you all. I hear everything that you're saying. Some things I've tried before, some things I haven't, some things I forgot. So I want you to know that I appreciate you. So with that, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and shove off, and y'all can continue to enjoy the beautiful Bohemian farm garden here on the side of my house.